Oh shit, this is ill.
This is your hot seat right there.
All right.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, I love this.
It's cool, right?
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah. I got a bunch of little cameras and stuff. Got different like little angles and things. This angle is sick right here. I have to mess with stuff. Here we go. That one. The turntable.
Yeah, I like that.
Isn't that cool?
Tight, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like, and then I got this kind of one, which is kind of all of us hanging out.
Yeah.
And then this is the one I'll be using, this one, and that one right there on your camo crotch.
Yeah. Just Sony's, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a Sony A7S II, I think. This is Sony A7S, and then this is a A7, is A6 6000 or 6400, and that's a R6100.
Yeah.
And then I got these, which are pretty cool too, actually. I got these lights at an antique store, and I rewired them up. I got some smart bulbs in them, and then I could turn them on like this. Come on, bitch. There we go.
Oh, nice.
I've been working so much with like other artists that I haven't had time to like make my own like beat tapes and just kind of do my own thing and just make my own music and just kind of like just put music out.
Yeah, when's the last time you put out a project for yourself?
Shit. The last time I put out a beat tape, it was last year, but like early last, it might have even been 2 years ago. Cause I've just been like working with other artists, you know? So it's like, that's all I've been doing. And so it's like one thing I wanted to get back into was like making videos about horror movies, and it's just like,
dude,
you know?
I love those. I'm not into horror movies, but I'm into you. And then you make me into horror movies. I remember like Halloween ago, not this Halloween, I called you up like, yo, because I was watching your videos.
Yeah. I
good.
remember that. Yeah, because you had asked me like, what's a horror movie that is like scary but like not violent and like basically like family friendly? I'm just like, dude, the only answer to that is Poltergeist.
Yeah.
And then you told me you liked it.
I did.
You know, so that was tight.
Yeah, it's creative. Like a lot of those old scary movies aren't really scary. They're just kind of creative.
Oh yeah, 1000%. That's what I love about them.
Yeah.
You know, it's because like all of my top 5 movies are older movies. Like none of them are modern movies. Like there's some modern movies that I fucking love, but like there's just something about like the classic movies, like the older movies that just there's just something special about them. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. What do you watch right now? You streaming anything? You watching any TV shows right now?
Honestly, like right now when it comes to streaming, I'm not really like it's funny because it's like I've gone out of my way to like subscribe to things like Shudder and Arrow Video and like very like niche streaming services. But like I rarely watch them. It's just more so like, yeah, I'll support, because like when it comes to movies, it's physical media for me, because I'm constantly like, I just got like a stack of movies the other day. I got another stack that are going to be coming in the mail soon. Like, so it's like, it's funny because like the other day I had some downtime and I was like, maybe I should go to the record store. And I'm like, nah, I'd much rather like buy a movie. I've been really falling off with buying records. I think just because now it's become a little bit more readily available. You know, going to a record store and just kind of digging, you know?
I think also you probably spend a lot of time listening in your car.
A lot of it is, yeah, because it's like the only time that I ever sit down and listen, like put a record on the turntable is like on my days off.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, like that's it, you know? Like, and even when I'm cleaning, I'm just like, just put my headphones in, because that way I don't have to go and flip the record while I'm in the middle of doing dishes. Like if I'm sitting down reading a book or I'm just listening to a record, that's the only time that I actually like listen to a record.
Yeah, I feel the same way. A lot of my records I bought in the last 3 years I haven't even opened. They're wall candy.
Yeah.
I listened to all of them, but I just, I don't know. But I think now that my office is a little bit more complete, now I want to come in here and sit here and just listen to them. It kind of reminds me of when I was a kid. Like when we were growing up, I didn't have a computer. And so it was either I'd talk on the phone to friends, or I'd just listen to CDs, or I'd sew my clothes.
Right.
So I'd just go and just listen to CDs, and I'd open the book and read through everything and like the cover and this and that. And the records were just kind of big, fragile, kind of expensive. And I didn't start getting into records till we were already probably like 18, I think. When 18, 19 is when I started buying them.
Yeah, because like I started collecting wax when I was like 15. Like I still remember the first record I ever bought was at Sounds Like Records.
Oh yeah, Off the Mall.
Off the Mall. You already know. Sounds Like Records. It was the Misfits collection volume 1.
Okay, yeah.
First record I ever bought. And like from there, it was just kind of like a slow, steady thing that I started to collect more records. But then like I started to kind of try to decide like, am I going to buy more movies? Am I going to buy more records? Yeah. So it's like, for me, putting a record on the turntable is like it's almost like a ceremony. Like I'm just like I'm putting the record on, I'm putting it like it's just like it's a whole thing, and I have to get up and I flip it and I have to sit down and listen to it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like watching a movie, I've gotten to the point now where I don't force myself to watch a movie all in one sitting unless I'm at a movie theater.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. Because like,
So it's just background. You like having them around.
well, that's the thing. Whenever I work on beats, I always put on a movie I've already seen. Because like it kind of helps me manage my time. Because if it's like if I'm working on beats and then all of a sudden like I see the end credits, I'm like, oh shit, I've been working for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Let's take a break.
You know, as romantic as is like, I'm gonna like, you know, smell it, open the gatefold,
Yeah.
look at it, put it on. I don't give a fuck about my 7 inches.
Yeah.
It's so fucking annoying, dude.
No, I 1000% because like all of my 12 inches and my 10 inches,
Yeah.
alphabetized, categorized.
Yeah.
This one's punk. This one's hip hop. This one, like,
Right.
like there's sections. My 7 inches are just in a fucking shoebox.
It just sucks. Like right when you sat down, it's like, damn it, you know. Especially like for some reason, I think it's because the genre of music. But a lot of my 7 inches are like power violence bands or hardcore bands,
Yeah.
and that's every 3 minutes I have to get up. It's stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of I think I have like maybe 2 7 inches that aren't punk. Like one Wu-Tang 7-inch, which is a single. And
Exactly. See, that sucks
yeah.
too.
Yeah, dude.
It sucks worse.
It's like I drop the needle and I walk away from it. I'm like, oh fuck, the record's over. You know?
Totally. Yeah, I completely
Yeah,
get
dude. Like
that.
the rest, yeah, all of them are punk or hardcore stuff like that. I can't think of a single one. Like I think like one like 60s garage psychedelic album, and the rest of it is just punk that lasts like 10 seconds.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Huh. So, are you with you in the creative aspect? Are you just listening to what you're working on? That's all you have time right now? Or are you listening to a little bit of everything still? Or
Nah, dude, that's the thing. I listen to everything but hip hop. Like I don't like the only hip hop that I listen to is the artist that I work with.
yeah,
Because like
you don't want to be influenced and all that.
yeah, and that's the thing. It's just a lot of the times, like the artists that I work with, they come to me because I have a very specific sound. So they're like, okay, I want like those dark, grimy beats. I'm like, okay, cool. Like I got you. There's very few artists that I would like change my style, and they'd be like, oh, I want something that's a little bit more, you know, fast paced, a little bit more whatever. Like I'm like, okay, cool. Like I respect you. We work together. I have no
Right, right.
problem changing things up just a little bit for you. But when it comes to like sitting down and listening to shit, I rarely listen to hip hop. Like it's more so just like it's everything but, because like I'm a strong believer that if you should listen to everything but the music you're making in order to be inspired and be unique.
Yeah, you end up being cover band real easy.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's just that, like there are certain hip hop producers that I could say, oh yeah, they're the reason why I do what I do, but I don't want to sound like them, you know? Like I don't want to end up sampling the same thing they sample. So it's like I'd much rather listen to some like.
How do you explore that? Everything's been sampled. What are you doing for that?
That's the thing, man. When it comes to sampling, I don't think everything has been sampled. Because I remember one time I went to, I think it might have been Rat Hole Records here in Riverside. I was digging through the world music and I found this one record from Mexico or something. Like it was a Latin record.
Right.
And I was like, okay, like I you know, I kind of tore it up. I got some samples out of it. I made a few beats. And I'm like, I wonder what is this? It's like a comp, you know? And I looked it up. Dude, it's not on Discog. It's not on YouTube. It's not on Spotify.
Wow.
Like it's nowhere. Because that's the thing. It's just that like, because throughout history, like especially in the music industry, people were more willing to take risks back then because they were just like, well, fuck it. The kids like it. I don't get it.
Well, if it's just old enough and it wasn't a hit, it just doesn't get archived.
Yeah, dude, exactly. You know, because like there's this record store in San Francisco called I think it's called Rookie Ricardo's, and it's only soul and R&B,
Okay.
classic soul and R&B. And I was just like digging through all the records, and like he was like the owner was playing some music on the speaker. Dude, I would Shazam some songs, and it's like can't find the song. I'm like, oh shit.
Shit.
Yeah, dude. There's some music out there that's just like it's just out there, you know. And so it's like when it comes to like sampling, I try to make sure that I stay away from your like the typical go-to.
Wendy Renee or something.
Yeah, you're like it's just like I'm not gonna sample another James Brown song. It's been
Right.
done to death.
Yeah.
You know, so like yeah, I'm just like I'm gonna change it up. You know, I try to like stick to my MO and like sample like Italian movies or something, you know.
How is that like right now with how clever the internet is? Will you get hit? Like, for example, if I have a song on in the background here even a little bit, it'll be like, oh, this is me revenue shared with,
Yeah.
you know, whatever record label, because it was like in there for 20 seconds, you know?
I've gotten a couple cease and desist letters.
Yeah.
I've gotten a couple. Like one cease and desist letter I got was because I ended up sampling a song that DJ Quick had sampled, and he released it, and it was like, oh, your song sounds too similar to this DJ Quick song. Like, okay,
really?
makes sense. Yeah. So I was like, okay. A part of me was like, that's kind of tight that like I sampled a song that DJ Quick samples. So I'm like, okay, cool. I must be on the right track.
But a lot of it is like, I think when you get to a certain level, if you do get some kind of music lawyer or something like that, it doesn't take much to argue fair use, you know?
Yeah.
Like I remember there was some like, there was some big thing that happened with like Ethan Klein of H3H3 years ago, because his channel used to only be just reaction videos.
Oh yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
And they were kind of arguing like, well, how much are you? What's the word I'm looking for? Like, yeah, if you're just having it play and you're just watching it, maybe it's not fair use, but like the comedic relief, you interrupting it, the skits you do within it, like it becomes like a new piece of art.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing. It's just like my favorite TV show of all time is Mystery Science Theater 3000. And that's literally a dude and his robots watching old movies and making fun of them.
Right.
And there are some episodes.
Before its time.
Yeah. Oh, 1000%.
Wow.
1000%. You know, and so like there are some movies that you can't get on like the DVD box sets because they had like it was public domain, but then because MST3K made it popular, people were like, oh shit, I'm going to cash in on this. Like if you want to put my movie in your box set, you have to pay me X amount. So they're just like, all right, fuck it.
How many people, like right now, making beats is more accessible than ever, like people do on their phones. Like how is that? Is it just flooded? Like
it's both the greatest and worst thing to happen to hip hop, because for me personally, I think the thing that
it's harder to find the good shit.
It's impossible.
It's just watered down.
Yeah, dude, because that's the thing. It's just that, like, the one thing that I would say has been both the best and worst thing to happen to hip hop or production and beat making is the SP404. The SP404 is this little box of a sampler, and it's cheap. It's got a specific like lo-fi sound to it.
But everyone has the same sound.
But everybody has it. And so because it's so easily accessible and you don't necessarily need to put too much, it's the same thing with like Fruity Loops and stuff like that. It's so easy to be a musician that, like, you know, can't remember who I was talking to about this, but like back then people had to be unique. There's a reason why we all still know who Wu-Tang is.
Did you see the Kai NPCs go through the roof after the first season of Wu-Tang Clan American Saga?
Yeah,
that's
dude.
fucking. It made me want one.
Yeah, that's the thing, dude. It's just like
it's a big commercial.
Yeah, it really is, because that was the one thing that it was just like, because even though I already have my equipment, I already do what I do. Yeah. I was like, oh shit, like maybe I should get an SP12. You know,
I saw a synth. It was the one that like Joy Division used.
Oh yeah.
And that shit is like so hard to get, so expensive on
dude.
Reverb. It's nuts, because like we'll talk about an iconic sound.
Yeah, dude. Like they had a Moog, didn't they? It was like a specific kind of Moog. Yeah, dude. It's just like, especially with bands like Joy Division, especially, it's just like, you know, it's like the same thing with like a lot of like old guitarists like Link Ray, where it's like the reason why his guitar was so fuzzy was because he literally would, you know, cut his speakers.
Oh shit.
And give it that like weird distortion and very, as you know, specific sound.
Right.
So it's like now there's equipment that mimic that sound, but it's like people are so desperate to try to get that sound done through like they try to cut corners, but it's like, no, dude, it's like, look, if you want it to sound like Link Ray or like this old 50s song called Rocket 88, that was like the first song to use distortion, you gotta just take a pencil and just jam your amplifier if you want it to sound like that, you know. Yeah. But that's just, it is what it is.
If you want authentic ripped jeans, you gotta wear them for a while.
Exactly. Oh, dude, it's funny you mentioned that. So I was on my way back from Houston the other day, and so my flight got canceled, the whole thing, and then I had to get a new flight going from Houston to Vegas to LA.
Damn.
Yeah, dude. Oh god, I didn't get home till like 3 a.m. It was whack.
That's rough.
Yeah, dude. But I was in Vegas, and I see this group of like women that look like cosmetology students, and I see this one woman wearing a leather jacket that has like die on it and has like the exploited, the casualties.
No,
I swear to God, and it looks like one of the jackets that we used to make when we were
Right.
kids. And I'm like, look, I don't want to stereotype or anything, but like, you don't look like you listen to this music.
Right.
And I'm like, fuck, dude, like, it really is interesting to kind of see stuff that like what was seen as weird and taboo, the shit that we used to get stared at for is
It's
now
cool now.
Yeah, dude, it's fashion. It's cool.
It was like Lil Wayne and Rihanna to first like kind of.
Yeah.
And it was like, what the heck? I was mad.
Yeah.
Now it's normal.
Yeah, dude, it's normal, you know. It's just like it's wild to kind of see what we did as kids that was seen as rebellious.
So you know how like fanny packs are cool now, and people wear them as like messenger bags, and messenger bags are
Yeah.
becoming cool. So I was almost falling for the trend. I'm like, that would be kind of nice. I used to have stuff like that,
Yeah.
and I kind of try to be like a kind of archivalist and keep a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And I found. I'm running this again.
Bro, I remember that.
Yeah, this is from 2010. And so it's like, oh, whered you get that? You know, it's like, it's kind of a flex because I've been having it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, dude.
So it comes back around.
I gotta find my old battle vest, man. I don't know where it is, but like I'm sure it's still in my mom's house. But like, yeah, dude, it's just funny seeing that. Just kind of like, and it's so funny.
I put on a pair of shorts that I wore the other day. I'm going to
Yeah.
send you a picture, but it has a Proletariat Youth patch on the thigh.
I think you sent it to me.
Oh, I did
already.
send it to you.
my
Okay,
God,
okay.
dude. And it's funny because like I was scrolling on Instagram, and then one of my recommendations for like Instagram or Facebook Marketplace or whatever was like, oh, buy the, I don't know what is it, like 30th anniversary, or no, it was like Charles Bronson's discography on vinyl, and
that's
I'm
cool.
like,
Youth Attack Records.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck, like. People know this band,
Right.
You know, like I forget that like we've gotten to the point now, especially with shit like Spotify,
Oh, yeah.
where it's so easy to find bands that like we had to look for
Well, now,
this shit.
well, now if you don't have to know about the genre to know about the band because it might just pop up in an algorithm.
Yeah, 1000%.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely a few playlists.
Did you see
that come
Cat
in.
Williams at a Trash Talk show last week?
Get the fuck out of here!
It's real. It is so real.
Because like Lil Wayne being at a hardcore show makes sense because like he's talked about how he loves the Bad Brains.
Yeah.
Cat Williams?
Yeah, so apparently, so you know how Trash Talk is like on a different like level? Like they
Yeah.
somehow intertwine with pop culture, even though they're a Power Violence band.
Yeah.
They had some kind of event and celebrities were there, and it was some kind of silly event, but there's a bunch of celebrities there who happened to be there.
Yeah.
But it was Trash Talk's thing, so they're exposed to this thing, and of course, it's an infectious thing. But there's clips of Cat in the pit, like, "Ugh," and he's like, yeah, but, you know, I came and saw Trash Talk. You wouldn't think I'd be here, blah blah blah. Like, it's sick.
That's I mean a part of that is really cool because it's like, you know, like I've always loved the idea of like countering stereotypes and just having people be like, yeah, dude, like I'm into this because it's just like, especially like me being Mexican and like being into like being into punk. A lot of people, like more than once I've heard like, oh, you listen to that white people shit. It's like, no, dude, it's fucking music.
Right,
Like what
yeah.
difference does it fucking, like, dude, if like what difference does it fucking make? Like if I like it, I like it, you know? So it's like to see Cat Williams there, it's weird.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that. Didn't have that in my 2024 bingo card. But like that's tight that he was there. Like honestly, like I'm more so surprised that Trash Talk is still going. Like I forgot about them for a minute.
I don't know what they are, but like I'm super intrigued. I want to know more. But my theory, outside looking in, would be that Trash Talk, upside down peace sign, destroy, became like streetwear. It was
Yeah,
iconic, right? Everyone had it.
Yeah.
And then they sold so much merch and such an incredible live performance. Like I think they're probably the first like hardcore Power Violence, whatever you want to, that, you know, punk rock.
Yeah.
That made me feel like, whoa, this is scary. Like, this is
Oh, yeah.
crazy. Like, it was the first feeling of like, whoa, like you feel it through your body.
Yeah.
And then I think they started. I know that Lee started doing. I think it's called Babylon. Like some
Okay.
guys, and he has like a storefront in LA with a skate park, and like I
That's
think he's in cahoots with like Supreme and
Yeah, I
all the
was
other
gonna say,
cool
yeah.
things. So I think that you know, I think that yeah, he's just in that world.
Right.
And then I remember I saw like who was it? It was like Ceremony and Sabretooth and some rapper. Like
Oh, yeah.
it started like seeping in because, you know, Trash Talk, Ceremony, Sabretooth, all Sacramento, right? Like
Yeah.
they're all homies. So hip hop started like becoming like Trash Talk started going to festivals, started getting huge, and so like, but it's just so not the band I would think that would like break out of that small thing.
Well, dude, it's wild because it's like there are bands that like we thought of as like these incredible holy grail bands. Like, dude, fucking TSOL is opening for the Garden. And then also like the Garden was headlining a show that it was the Garden headlining, JPEG Mafia before them, the Addicts, and Agent Orange.
Trip out.
Yeah, dude, it was just like, oh shit, like that's so wild to kind of, but I guess in a way, what's cool about it is the fact that like a band like the Garden is like, oh yeah, like we love this shit, like let's get people out there to see these bands and like understand that like we were inspired by these bands.
TSOL stays busy though; they play a lot.
Oh yeah, dude, they're one of those bands that like I don't know how I haven't seen them live.
For real?
I have never seen TSOL live.
So TSOL, like I don't. From what I hear outside looking in, is that they wouldn't play the showcase. They had some kind of beef with SOS. I don't know. So that's why you didn't see them, and I didn't see them. I didn't see TSOL play until just after 2009, after Showcase was gone, and it was at the Glass House. Yeah. Then after that, many opportunities to see them. But before that, everything was so far away. Showcase was there. That was our CBGBs. There was no reason to go anywhere else.
Exactly.
And TSOL, it was and is still one of my favorite bands. And but I mean, dude, you have to do it.
Oh yeah, dude, Dance With Me is like one of those records that like, oh my god, from top to bottom. Yeah. Absolutely incredible, you know? Like,
did you listen to their they still put out new records, but they put out a record. It was I have it on my wall somewhere, but it's called The Trigger Complex. Came out like, I think it's new, but I think it's like 7 years old already, but it was good.
I have not listened. I think the last TSOL record I listened to was I can't remember. It was the album that has like the flash art, like the eagle on it.
Oh,
I can't remember what it's called.
It's the one that says like it's got the ribbon going through it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like I just remember it has the song "Fuck You Tough Guy." Like that's like, I can't remember the name of the album.
Fuck You Tough
Guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. Fucking dude, the Showcase, man. It's like I was thinking about that the other day because I got a shirt from I went to go watch that documentary.
How was it? It's not for us.
It's just not, dude.
Because it's all right. It's fair, but it's not the. Okay. If I made a documentary on a Showcase, they wouldn't like it. Right. Right. And if they made one, I'm like, well, that's not my scene. Yeah. And then if I mean, it's depending on the night, it's a different place.
And that's the thing that I disliked about the documentary so much. Was
it didn't cover all of it, right?
Dude, because like
the previews seemed like it was just like emo, like metal stuff.
The only thing they talked about was punk, which was cool, don't get me wrong. And they had a bunch of like legendary like punk musicians in the documentary. Okay. But like literally the moment they talked about metal, it was just like
some flipping it. It was backwards.
It was like an impending doom song playing, and then like it was just rapid fire the logos of the bands that played there, and then it just went back to punk. Like it didn't talk about. I was just like, dude, like there were like ska bands, like psychobilly bands, and like reggae bands.
You gotta cover all of it.
Yeah, dude, like, dude, I saw fucking Fishbone there. Yeah. You know, so it's just like, why the fuck aren't they talking about everybody?
Well, the way to do it, I think, in a way that would get received right now, would be to do like a series and do like each subgenre.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you could almost make a YouTube channel just on that.
Yeah. Let's fucking do it.
I know. Dude, did you see that it's going to become something new finally?
Dude, it's, you know what? It's funny you mentioned that because like I think
it's the dude from the lab from Costa Mesa.
No
They're off the
shit.
mall. Yeah, and I saw their building, and they were announcing their building. And I called it, and I went on there, and I saw their proposed plans, and I hit them up, and I wanted to open a tattoo shop called Showcase Tattoo.
I like that.
Right?
I fuck with that.
And I gave them the whole story, and I was like, I have the tattoo, and you know, and they didn't give a fuck. And it's just gonna be like retail and like barista fucking stuff. So.
That's ridiculous, dude. Yeah, because like I drove past there the other day, or like a couple weeks ago. And I just expected to just be the skeleton that it has been for fucking over a decade. Yeah. And now they're actually like doing something with it. So it's like it's just so wild.
I haven't seen that part yet, but I heard it. I just seen it fenced off, and then I seen that it caught fire or something like that.
Yeah, I heard something about that. But yeah, it's just so wild to kind of see.
Which like. Kind of suspect. Why would it catch fire now? Yeah. Right before you're building something new and it's been sitting for a long time and fucking insurance.
Yeah, dude. Because that place has been there.
I ain't say shit. I don't know anything.
I played the fifth.
I don't know.
But yeah, dude, like, it's just so wild to kind of see like that place you know, because like the other day I was on Reddit just kind of fucking around, and then like I'm part of like the Riverside Reddit, and somebody was like, oh, I'm here from LA, you know, I've noticed that Riverside is very different. Like, what is something that Riverside needs more to be like a better town? And I immediately said small venues, dude. Like, and like I got a bunch of like upvotes for it, but it's just like, yeah, dude, like we had the Showcase, Spanky's, Common Grounds, Pharaoh's Den, fucking Back to the Grind had shows. The Mission Tobacco Lounge had shows. Like we had places for like local kids to put a band together. Like we had a music scene. We had the Blood Orange art, the art studio.
Yeah, info shop.
Yeah, info shop. Yeah, like dude,
I have a whack take.
Okay.
You're gonna hate this take.
Please.
You're gonna fucking hate this take. I hate this take. I prefer 21 and over shows now.
Get the fuck. Okay, hold on.
I'm a grown ass man.
Okay, hold on. No. Hold up. Why? Please explain to me.
Okay,
why.
it's for everyone, right? I get that.
Yeah. Oh, the all age shows. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I was like 21. I was
Yeah. It's for everyone.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm more likely to get beer splashed on me at an all ages show than I am at 21 over show. And at 21 over show, it's like it kind of starts at the right time and ends at the right time. I don't know why. I might have work the next day. And I see myself in the crowd where it's like, oh, that person has also been into this band for this long. Like,
Right.
And I think that the people that are at the 21 over show, like, want to be there more, right? Where a lot of the punk shows I went to, I found a lot of bands from going to the showcase. Bands
Sure.
I didn't know about. So I'm there figuring it out, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in now it takes a lot for me to leave work early and go to the show. So like when I'm there, like small shows, like I just saw Homefront in San Diego, and
Yeah.
it was just like everyone there, it was a weeknight. Everyone there wanted to be there. Everyone
Yeah.
there was like, you know, late 20s to 40s. And everyone there knew the fucking words.
Yeah.
And like it was punctual. And it felt, I think when you're a kid and you're up front and you're like, you're with your friends and yeah, you feel it and you're a part of it. Now it's like, I don't want to be hanging out with a bunch of little kids. Like it's not my scene. I feel out of it.
But that's the thing though. Like, would you be that person without the all age shows?
No, of course not. That's what, I know it's a whack. I don't even like my take.
Right. No, like I get
it.
I totally get what you're saying because in a way I agree.
If there was, all right, let's say hot take. Let's say the Addicts are gonna play, and they're gonna play a Friday and they're gonna play a Saturday,
Yeah.
right? And the Friday is an all ages show, and the Saturday is a 21 over show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with 21. I'm gonna go.
I don't blame you for that. The thing is that I it's not necessarily that I'm against 21 and over shows. I just want there to be access to all age shows.
Yeah, it needs to be accessible for everyone.
Yeah, because that was the thing that like, because dude, you know,
Kids need an outlet. You need to
Exactly.
blow off some steam. Like you need to like, you know, like, yeah. Where else can you like yell?
Yeah.
And like push someone.
yeah,
Get away
exactly.
with it.
Yeah, dude, we were shithead kids. Like
Yeah.
we did shithead things.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like to have that access to be able to like not only see our music live, but to essentially just like let it out, like you said, have that outlet.
Yeah.
You know, young, dumb, full of cum, like no one's fucking me, so I gotta let it out somehow. You know,
Right.
and so you're just like you're stage diving, you're you know, you're slam dancing, like you're letting it out, and you're just like it's a good way to deal with the fucking tortures of being a teenager, because I fucking hated being a kid, you know.
Bullshit. It was sick. I have we had a great ass time.
We did.
I have a pre-punk memory,
Okay.
and this memory doesn't feel real because it's so long ago that I don't know if it's like a real memory or a figment of imagination. Because all these memories all jumble into one thing,
Yeah.
right? And there's so many shows where I was like, I'm never gonna forget this show. Like, I don't remember the show anymore. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But anyways, all right. So I remember one time it was me, you, and Brandon. We were at your house, and me and Brandon was getting you into trouble. And I remember we threw something on accident and broke your neighbor's window.
It happened.
Really?
I remember
What?
that
I didn't bear the consequence.
vividly.
What
I remember
happened?
that vividly. We were over at my place,
Backyard wrestling.
backyard wrestling or some shit, or just like watching something we shouldn't have been watching.
For
And,
sure.
and I sure as fuck was saying, I don't know, guys, we're gonna get into a lot of trouble.
That's such a good impression of you. Yeah.
And so there was like a recycle bin behind my house in the backyard, and Brandon decided to grab a bottle of, I think it was like Michelob's Ultra, if I remember correctly, and he's like, I'm gonna hit the roof of the house back there. He flings
It's an easy thing to aim at.
dude, literally the wide side of a barn. Like he
Yeah.
just hit the roof, and like he throws it, and then all we see is just, and the fucking bottle going straight through the dude's window. And it just immediately, I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? This guy's getting, oh yeah, scatter. Like we all like, oh yeah, dude. It was, but yes, that is not.
So what happened? Did anything come of it? Oh,
Nothing happened, dude. Like,
okay, I have another one. I remember
Okay.
one time. So we were like Fridays. We'd walk down to. We'd go to the, what was that movie store called? The movie store.
Mega Video.
Mega Video. We'd walk down the Mega Video, get a Mega Video card, and then we'd either go to Del Taco or Jack in the Box.
Yeah, they
and
were
then
in the
we-
same shopping
Yeah,
center.
yeah. And we go to like Mega Video. And
Yeah.
I remember one of the times, I don't know why, like I don't know if we're giggling and talking about it. And this is like CKY having a bad influence on kids. But
Yeah.
I remember there's a payphone, and I grabbed the payphone and I dialed 911.
Help, they got a gun.
Yeah.
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 Again, Brandon
Yeah.
decides to go to a fucking payphone, hit 911, and you hear 911, what's your emergency? Help, he's got a gun. Within minutes, a fucking cop chopper is flying above us. And
Well, I
I'm-
like that I'm not crazy because I felt like these were like, and like I wasn't sure if I remembered correctly.
They all happened
Yeah.
in and around my neighborhood, so I couldn't forget.
Do you remember we got kicked out of the pizza place for the silly string on the pool tables?
Yes, I remember that. We were fucking around, and
We'd be like the only ones in that pizza place. I don't know how it survived. It's still a pizza place. Now it's Pizza Hut, right?
yeah, it's a Pizza Hut now, but yeah, it was like a hot rod pizza or whatever the fuck.
It was exactly Hot Rod
Yeah,
Pizza. That's what it was called.
Yeah, and so it was just like the fact that we were only ones there, and this dude's just like, you guys got to get the fuck out of here. It's like, we're the
get
only
it.
ones here, dude. You're lucky
Yeah.
we're here.
It's true.
You know?
Damn.
Yeah, dude. We like, it's just so funny to kind of like think, because like there's some times that, you know, just driving around Riverside and just like there are moments where I'm like, oh fuck, right, like that happened there.
That's the best thing about like being local to a place. Like those
Yeah.
memories you get to develop over time. Like I remember my dad would tell me that when he went to Loma Vista when he was a kid, that my grandma's neighborhood across the street, that a lot of it where it's all hilly, it was more hilly. And he moved there in like the 70s, and because he was born in 1969, so he was over there, and he said that he would see these big like earth movers just driving in circles for the summer, and at the end of the summer there'd be no more hill, and it'd be like houses, you know.
Yeah.
And he remembers all being new. And I remember one of the things we would do is we'd get off we'd always get off right there on Pierce, and like instead of going on La Sierra to avoid the lights to go up behind where you lived, it
Yeah.
was like faster. And
Yeah.
it was like Riverwalk was like being built at that time.
Yeah, dude, I remember that because like that area was all like rancho. It was all just farmland.
But now we have those memories of where we can say we remember when that wasn't Riverwalk.
Yeah, because I remember the one thing that I always remember about that place, besides from the corn silos that said like La Sierra Rancho, my cousins used to scare me, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, there's a 2-headed cow that was born there," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And they're like, "It's because it was cursed," and I'm like, "Oh, what?" You know, it was just like because they expected me to freak out a 2-headed cow, but they're just like, "Oh, the devil did it" or some shit.
Yeah. But I like some things make me sad, like seeing change, but I like living in a place long enough to see it change.
Yeah.
And I feel like a relationship to the neighborhood that I'm from, like,
Yeah.
and it's weird too, like when you're from a place you feel invincible in it. Like there's certain like neighborhoods where if I'm not from there, I'm like, that feels sketchy, you know. But
Yeah.
walking anywhere in Orlando, I'm like, no, these are my streets.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's the thing. It's just that, like, there are so many times where I'm like, man, there's mad traffic. Like, oh, I could just take these back roads and just avoid all this shit because,
Yeah.
like, I know these streets, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just like, I think the only thing that I'm very disappointed in Riverside is just like how little it cares about small businesses.
Yeah, but all right, I'm a small business.
Yeah, so
hot
I
take,
figured
hot
you
take,
would
hot
have-
take,
yeah.
hot take. There's no economical benefit for the city to have small business.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
the heart, and it matters. But if the city is a business, it's not a good business move.
Well, how do you feel about that? Because you
Fucking
like I said,
sucks. It
yeah.
fucking sucks. And I also, all right, dig this. So You know, like where you grew up was considered, that was a town called La Sierra Heights before we were born. Where my shop was a city called Arlington that was located inside of Riverside. I didn't know this existed.
Oh,
but that area was called Arlington. And then obviously Casablanca was an area. All these neighborhoods we know were actual like towns, right?
Yeah.
And they were within the boundaries of Riverside or eventually got swallowed up and became Riverside.
Yeah.
Well, Riverside supposedly wants to like revitalize these areas and give these areas like their own, give them like, you know, you when you go to San Diego, Hillcrest looks like Hillcrest, Bankers Hill looks like Bankers Hill, City Heights look like City Heights.
Yeah.
They have that, but they've really created identity around each little like spot.
Yeah.
And I think Riverside, like, it would be nice to like have that here.
Yeah.
And so I think they want to strive to do stuff like that. But for example, my business license is like $150, whatever. That's what it should be. That's what normal, whatever, per year.
Yeah.
Mine's $380.
God damn.
Because it's going towards benefiting the revitalization of the Arlington district.
Oh, so because you're participating in like
They don't do shit.
yeah.
All they do is they put up a couple old posters of old packing orange companies on the front of some businesses near Van Buren.
Shit.
And that's it. They don't do shit.
Well, yeah, dude, because like I remember years ago I found this article that like I still haven't found it. I have to find it because like this shit stuck with me. Apparently the Inland Empire has the largest number of abandoned storefronts in the United States. Like they're just empty spaces.
I know why now.
Okay.
Okay, so this is funny. I was talking about this with Raymond the other day. All right.
Shout out Raymond.
Yeah. So I didn't know this. I don't think you know this. What is the Inland Empire like? Not what does it mean to you, bro? But like, bro. Yeah. But the Inland Empire, like, how big is it? What cities are within it to you?
So to me, the IE is everything in between Orange County and San Diego.
Okay, so what I thought IE was, I thought it was obviously the city of Riverside, and then I would consider like Fontana, Rialto, like some stuff around it.
Yeah.
But I would consider like, okay, Rancho, that's definitely like, I mean, that's San Bernardino County. I would consider some pieces of San Bernardino County and San Bernardino, the city itself, part of the IE.
Yeah, absolutely.
What the IE is, why it's called the Inland Empire, is it's 27,000 square miles east of Los Angeles. It's all of San Bernardino and it's all of Riverside. So Blythe, Mammoth,
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
everything, the whole Mojave Desert, all of that shit is the Inland Empire. So San Bernardino is the largest what was it, fucking county? What's the word I'm looking for?
I think it was a county. They're like the largest.
Not city. What's the other word? County?
County would, yeah. Because like Riverside County
Okay.
is, yeah.
San Bernardino County is the largest in like the nation. And the
Really?
majority of it is either like, like drive to Vegas or drive to Arizona. It looks like that.
Yeah.
Or it's like military stuff that you can't go and see, whatever. So when you think of that, when you drive through Riverside, how many abandoned storefronts do you see?
A lot. Like there's just so, but Riverside specifically or the IE?
Yeah.
Riverside specifically, not a whole lot.
But when you think about the IE in the terms of the Inland Empire, all of San Bernardino, for sure a lot.
Oh yeah, dude. Because like like
but I wouldn't consider like way out there Inland Empire, but it is.
Yeah, because like there are parts of Redlands and San Bernardino where you're just like, I can't remember. I think I went to go pick up some food at like Happy Family or something like a while back.
Yeah.
And like the food wasn't ready yet, and I was like, oh shit, like I haven't been to downtown Purdue in a minute.
Yeah.
Like I used to go every year for Route 66. I'm like, fuck it, let's kind of cruise around. Dude, it was like a ghost town.
It could be so cool too. Like the buildings
yeah.
are sick. It looks like it could be cool, but it's just not.
Well, that's the thing, dude. Like San Bernardino used to be like a getaway for celebrities.
Check this out. Riverside, Citrus State Park on Van Buren.
Yeah.
Okay. That field right there off to the left of Van Buren with the oranges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Charlie Chaplin had a house there.
Get the fuck out of here.
And Lucille Ball had a house on Rincon and Lincoln in Corona.
Well, yeah, because Desi Arnaz used to perform for the troops at the Arlanza military base.
Yeah, they had a house together.
Yeah, they had a house there, so they would perform all the time.
Crazy.
Yeah, dude, it's wild because like I remember when we were in high school, I was in the journalism class and I interviewed the guy who like wrote a book on the history of Riverside. And like I wrote a whole article on it, and he was telling me all this wild shit just about like Hollywood celebrities and like the Arlanza military base and all that. And so it was just so crazy to kind of think that like, well, dude, fucking Palm Springs is part of the IE, and Bob Hope's, house is still
but
there.
see, I don't know. I didn't consider that part of the IE. I was like, that's just like San Bernardino, something different. But
apparently
it is
it
Riverside
is.
County.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right. So when Raymond helped me set all this shit up,
Yeah.
I'm not a techie guy. I'm trying to figure it out. And I was fucking around, and I've had some practice.
Sure.
That's how I knew the fact about Charlie Chaplin and Lucille Ball, and I knew about the square miles of the Inland Empire.
Yeah.
I was creating a segment, which I think I'm gonna fucking create right now.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna say Inland Empire originals, and you have to name just name original shit in Riverside, and it's just kind of fun. Yeah.
Wait. Original shit as in like stuff that originated here, or like people who are from here?
Alien Ant Farm. Go.
Ronda Rousey.
Oh, I know she lives at, I heard Overlook, but I didn't know from.
Yeah, she's from Riverside.
What else you got?
From Riverside. Hold up. And it's funny because I looked this shit up.
Bakers.
Well, Del Taco, because Del Taco was in San Bernardino. Oh no, that's Riverside. That's fucking Riverside proper.
Well, no. That's.
Oh,
I've had some packs. It's still Inland Empire.
well, there you go. Then yeah, Del Taco.
Yeah.
There you go. It's your turn.
Oh, this is fucking funny. I just did this the
Yeah.
other night, and this we were the same answers, and we're running low again.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. God damn it. Okay. All right. All right. I've been saying this. I don't know if it's true. Do you have any insight into that 7-inch right there next to you?
Which one?
Inside Out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Riverside, Moreno Valley. Tell me about it. Do you know anything about that? Is it true that he lived in Riverside?
From my understanding, he did live in Riverside for a minute, but it was mostly Santa Ana.
Yeah, because I say like LA band or Orange
Yeah.
County.
Well, yeah, dude.
But the thing
yeah.
is, like, if you're from the IE and you're in a band and you have a one member in LA, you're gonna call yourself an LA band.
Well, dude, that's the thing. It's just like fucking is his name Omar? Omar from Soul Search.
Soul Search, baby.
Yeah, he went to
That's
Novi.
right. That's fucking right.
And they're an LA hardcore band. It's like, no, fool,
No. I have a shirt that says Inland Empire Hardcore. They rep it.
get the fuck out of
They
here.
rep it.
All
Yeah.
right. I guess
Yeah.
just because they roll with like rotting out and shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm just like, oh, they're just repping
No.
LA.
Inland
right.
Empire Originals.
Well, same
I'll
thing-
get into you.
Yeah, same thing with Impending Doom. You
Yeah.
know, like they went to Novi as well.
That's true.
Voodoo Glow Skulls.
Yeah. The B Sharps.
The beat.
Fuck
Oh
yeah.
my god. I
Yo,
have not
Travis
thought about-
Barker.
Travis Barker's from Corona.
Kat Von D. San Bernardino.
That's right. There was another person who was from Corona. Oh no, he's not from here. Fucking Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy. He lived out here for a while.
Oh. I feel like I knew that somehow.
Yeah, he either like is from here or like he lived out here. Oh, Etta James died at the Riverside Community Hospital.
Ed Templeton lived in Corona before he moved to Huntington Beach.
There you go.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's just like the IE is like definitely one of those parts of the. It's like,
It's kind of forgotten commuter town.
Oh,
Like no one
yeah.
wants to rep it.
yeah, dude. The number of times like I've done other interviews and people are just like, "Oh, where are you from?" Like Riverside. Like, where's that at?
Is that LA or San Francisco?
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, just like it's like 45 minutes east of LA. It's like like San Diego. Like no, fuck.
It's on the come up now, though. Welcome to the ad break. I got this book. I made 100 of them. I got 36 left. They're looking for homes. If you're feeling generous and you want to enter at your own risk, it's got tons of flash and photographs and line drawings and just it's kind of an archival crazy mess of Wayne. So whether you're a art collector, an art connoisseur, a tattooer, a Wayne fanatic, or generally just any kind of addict, you could tear up these pages, roll up your favorite substance in it. If you get angry, you can slap someone with it. If you're feeling kind of horned up, you can even spank someone with it consensually. I don't care what you do with it. It's yours to do with as you please. But if you'd be so generous, consider picking up one of these. WayneFredrickson.com. Buy your book. I'll ship it out tomorrow. Thank you for the support and leaving with a souvenir. Back to the interview. But that's the thing, like, you want your city to grow, become cool until it does.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's like there have been more than one occasion that I've said, "Fuck, man, this place just wants to be LA so badly," and I kind of hate it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I like being able. I think it sounds whack to say the greatest thing about Inland Empire is its proximity to everything else, but I love it here. But I like that I can go to LA and I can come back here, and I don't have to live there, and I can go to Orange County. I mean, I work in San Diego every week, and I don't have to live there.
Yeah, dude. Well, yeah, because like I've heard more than once Riverside referred to as the town that's an hour away from everything.
Yeah,
You know?
I kind of describe it that way, but I always say it like it's a good thing, but I can see it be considered a bad thing.
Yeah, definitely. Because like if you want to just like roll out to Palm Springs or LA or San Diego, like, dude, it's right there. You know, you'll just hit the freeway and just be out for a few hours, and then you can come back. You know, fucking 3-4 hours to Vegas and back.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, yeah, it's weird to kind of think like to go through, because like, you know, like when I was in the band, when I was in Proletariat Youth, like driving from like Riverside all the way up to like San Jose and back, we saw a lot of California that I didn't know existed.
Right.
You know, like Fresno, Blythe, Bakersfield, just a lot of that, you know. And
yeah, California's its own country. You can't be like, you can't put it in a box.
Well, yeah, it can be its own country, because I remember like seeing something like if California became an independent country, it'd be like the 6th or 7th largest. Like,
no, it'd be top 3 wealthy. I mean,
yeah.
California already is like one of the biggest economies in the world.
Yeah, the biggest economies. Yeah, dude, it's just like it's so wild, and it's just like to think that this state.
Do you remember it was on the ballot when they wanted to divide it up into 5 different states?
I remember that.
At first, it makes sense, but then it fucks over like everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you kind of need to be able to like borrow from you and you borrow from me, and it's like if you just make Fresno a state,
which is just so weird at the idea.
It would be so fucked.
Well, yeah, dude, it's like with San Bernardino. Like San Bernardino almost got wiped out the map because they went bankrupt because of like political corruption, and you know what fucking brought it back? Legalizing weed.
Oh shit!
Because out in San Bernardino, it's 100% like legal. Like if you go down, I think it's like hospitality or some shit.
That makes sense.
There's like dispensary after dispensary, like right there where Happy Family is.
What? Yeah. What? Why are all the billboards like? They have money to market, but they're not allowed to market because they're just like somehow the marketing means weed, but it's like a spaceship and says nothing.
Yeah, it's like the remedy room is one thing I always see or some shit, and yeah, it's always just like
it's like bad marketing, but it's not because you're like, oh, that has to be weed, but like they just can't say it.
Yeah, like what else could it be? You know,
right.
Like I mean, there's like a little cookie store called like the Cookie Plug, and I'm like, that's either a dessert store or a weed store.
No, that's a dessert store.
I figured,
but there is. Yeah, they want to be weed store. But there is cookies, and I think that's weed.
I think that is.
And I think they just give out merch because people wear that shit.
I see so many people rocking those cookie shirts.
That seems like sketchy marketing.
How so?
Kids, cookies.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, it's like the same thing with like e-cigarettes. Just like, oh, yeah, this tastes like bubble gum.
My coworker had bought some like mushroom chocolate, and it was called Willy Wonky. And it's like... You know, how can you not expect a kid to be like, ooh, candy bar, fucking Willy Wonka? You know?
Yeah.
You can't fucking read. Read's wonky already, so it's, you know.
Exactly, yeah. Just like the idea of just like I get it. It's supposed to like go towards like the stoner audience who's just like, oh, yeah, like this looks like a movie I've watched or whatever. Like, it's just like, it's supposed to be like nostalgic. Right. But you're right. Like, if I see something that's like, you know, W and W's, but they're like weed M&Ms.
Yeah, if your kid ate it, would it be that surprising?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Yeah,
do fucking like what's like the stereotype of like edibles, like gummies and brownies?
Yeah,
are you fucking kidding me? Like, dude, we like,
and everyone has a story of like, I didn't know I was supposed to not eat the whole brownie.
Yeah.
When do you not eat the whole fucking brownie?
Yeah, like who's
if it's good?
Yeah,
like oh yeah, like that's like when you're counting calories, fucking around trying to be good, and you see like 130 calories per serving. It's like, oh, that's 12 potato chips.
Yeah.
Who the fuck eats 12 potato chips?
Exactly. Who literally like counts like 12 Pringles and calls it a day?
Like the weed fucking bakers need to like divide up that fucking brownie.
Yeah, dude.
So you know what's going on.
Something, yeah, dude. Because like if you put a donut in front of me and say half of it is the healthy portion, that whole donut is fucking my face. Are you kidding me? Yeah, dude. It's like that. It's like who who genuinely just like portions out something like that?
Hot take: why are donut holes the best donut?
Hot take, you're wrong.
Fuck.
You know what's the best donut?
What?
Either white or pink glaze with sprinkles. Either on cake or raised.
Simpsons donut.
Straight up.
I do prefer a baked donut, which isn't appropriate. But I also have cavities and shit, and
Baked
like
donut. I don't think I've ever had a baked.
yes,
donut.
you have.
I
Almost
probably-
all vegan donuts, if they're like selling them like at the coffee shop and someone made them at home, they're it's a cake donut, like a baked
Gotcha.
donut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I have had it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all of Talene's donuts were all baked.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I've obviously have had
Yeah.
her donuts before.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
I miss that. I miss going there and getting like a kindergarten special and then one of our donuts and putting it on top and having the straw hold the donut in place. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, I definitely. That's another thing that was always like really cool about Riverside. Just like the vegan community was like so tight.
Dude, it's fucking dying.
Oh, 1000%.
It bums me out. Like it's
1000%.
not cool anymore. And it's like we had that. Did you ever go to that Roots spot?
Oh yeah.
Okay, thank you. But no one did. I fucking went and it was really good. And like no one gave a fuck. And then Plant Power gone. Plantos gone. And it's like, damn, dude.
Dude, fucking Chico's, Poppies.
Oh, Poppy's.
Dude,
is OG.
Poppies was the
That was the best
shit,
ever.
dude.
Yeah. Me and Yessie talk about it at least pretty often.
That's the one restaurant that I tell people like, man, you had to fucking be there.
When we'd walk in there, they'd be watching telenovelas, and
Oh, yeah.
she'd like smack the dude on the shoulder, and they'd put Animal Planet on.
And I remember when like they were shutting down, I was like, oh, like I heard you guys were shutting down. She's like, oh yeah, and she started to tear up. She was just like, I don't know who's gonna feed my little vegans. And I'm just like, fuck.
I know.
God damn it. Like she really like she was the abuelita that like genuinely was like, I don't get it, but you like it and I want to feed you.
Yeah.
You know, and she was just such a sweetheart, and she like would go out of her way to make sure that it's like, yeah, dude, like you guys deserve to eat as well. So like, hey, I can get a tube of Ronaldo's fucking vegan chorizo
Yeah.
and just make you guys a, you know, huarache or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's just like, it is wild to kind of see how like Riverside for like a moment had like this booming vegan community, and then all of a sudden just gone.
I know, and I don't blame it to the extent either. Like I kind of get all of it. Like
Yeah.
like there was also that really cool underground moment, like Love Amaro Pizzeria and Anti-Dairy Fight Club, and like
yeah.
and now he's hustling in Venice, and then she's not doing that thing no more.
Yeah, Poe's out in Cambodia.
I mean, sounds sick.
Oh yeah, no, the Poe's living their best life. I would go every week, and they would just be like, yeah, like I'm kind of tired of Anti-Dairy Fight Club. Like it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Moving to Cambodia. Fuck. All right, cool.
Best chili oil ever.
Oh, dude. To this day, I have never had chili oil better than the one
The
that
steamed
Poe whipped up.
gyoza with the chili oil and like, oh, it's so soft.
Oh yeah, 1000. But there was one time I went in there and like they were making some sort of like glass noodle dish, and I was like, "Can you make it with like chow mein noodles?"
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Oh fuck, that's a good idea." And then for like a month, they had like the JT noodles. Like it was just like chow mein. I was like, "Oh, that's tight."
Did you ever have the Dan noodle with the steamed gyoza on
Of course
top?
I did.
Shit's
Of course,
crazy.
like literally, like if they had like 4 specialty meals
Yeah.
every week, I would try the new one.
No, I'd always be dropping $50-$60 every time
Easy.
on it. Like no problem.
Easy fit. Like, oh yeah, dude, I was going broke because of that fucking
That's
price.
why I'm just like, why wouldn't you keep doing it? It's such a good thing going. Like people would travel out there. It was a special thing.
Yeah, dude, and it's just like it went from like this underground thing to like, I think what it was like Poe wanted to have it be like a very communal thing, because their big thing was tea. They wanted to like specialize in tea and like teach people about tea. There was one time they invited me to have like a little tea kind of like ritual, like this Chinese style like tea with like little tea pets and like how to properly drink
okay.
tea and all that sort of stuff. And they were just dropping knowledge on me like a motherfucker, and I was just like, damn, like you care about this more than the food, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, I think they realized like the tea wasn't like a viable venture, so they were just like, fuck it, dude, let's just call it and go, you know, across the world.
Yeah, I think the Plant Power one makes complete sense. That area is just gnarly, and
Yeah.
I mean they were just breaking their sign, and like it was, and also for some reason, like I feel bad saying this because I love the people that worked at Plant Power, but that crew never really figured it out.
Yeah, because like you know, my brother worked there.
Yeah.
You know, and so there was a number of times where he would be telling me, because like we would talk every week or meet up every week, and he'd be like, "Fuck, dude, it's like it's like I'm working with fucking high schoolers. It's unbearable.
Dude, we would order like 30 minutes ahead of time because we knew there'd be a wait, and we'd get there and still wait like 15 minutes. We're like, what the fuck's going on? But we go to any other location, and it's like me and you'll drive out to the Redlands one or whatever, and it's perfect every time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like there was a lot of times that I would go to other plant powers and the food was better.
So much better.
Like they handled that shit.
Yeah.
You know, but like, yeah, the one here in Riverside, man, I hate the fact that it's gone, but I get it.
Yeah. And then I think the Roots thing, I think the main unfortunate thing with that was I was talking to, like, when they were closing, when they were on their last days, and I was speaking to the hostess about it, and I was like, yo, like, what's going on? Yeah. And then, you know, she's like, oh, well, they're going to, like, do more of the sushi thing. They're going to do, like, kind of a, I guess they're doing a ghost kitchen vegan sushi thing in San Diego. So if you could find that out, look it up. But food was phenomenal, but the marketing was terrible. Roots is not a name that there's so many things called Roots. Like and even they couldn't even lock it in on Instagram. It was called Ketchup with Roots. No one's going to type in ketchup with a K when they're thinking of Roots. Yeah, exactly. So the marketing was terrible. Instagram wasn't popping like it should have been. And the location, unfortunately, like everything shuts down at 5. It's all city buildings. Everything that's happening is 3 streets over on University. Yeah. So I think that didn't help them. And they could have done more community stuff. They could have hosted open mic nights. They could have had like art shows. They could have done something because they had they spared no expense. It was a beautiful space. Yeah. And just no one knew about it.
Yeah, dude. And I think that's the thing is that like I feel like there's too much of a focus of like let's try to get the crowds in and try to get like the bar crowd, because that's why like Main Street, it's all bars now. Well, that's what makes money. Exactly. That's all people want. That's all people give a fuck about. Yeah, dude. And that's the unfortunate thing is just that like people.
But that's why that place could have been good, because it's a vegan bar.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. It's just that like at some point there would have to be a quantity over quality. Yeah. Because they would just be like constantly, because that was the thing with anti-dairy was the fact that like they were constantly busy to the point where like the food was starting to, I wouldn't say diminish, but it just wasn't.
Just suffer a little bit.
Yeah, just suffer a little bit, you know? And that was just because it's like they would sell out sometimes on Fridays and be like, fuck, we're done for the weekend.
But I like that. I mean, it's special. I like their Instagram posts, them showing going to LA and getting the food. And, oh, yeah. You know, it's things like that make people feel a part of it, that make it special. Yeah. And it's like that little grassroots thing that can really grow something. Right. And I think that maybe, I don't know, I think maybe that's what Roots is missing. Maybe the person that opened already had money and they just didn't like love it. I don't know. Yeah.
I guess, you know, it's just like everything else. Capitalism fucking ruins everything, you know?
Yeah, I think, I don't know. Yeah, the Riverside, I will tell you this, Riverside fucking hates small business.
1,000%. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing. It's just like, it fucking hates small business. Because that's the thing. It's just like, look, I understand you're trying to beautify Main Street, whatever the fuck, but it's like, do we really need a statue that says love with the little locks on it? Like, put that money into the community.
We could do both, though. Like, I think, like, something like, I think a good example, which I was talking shit earlier, but I think the lab in Costa Mesa is a good example where you can have a Buffalo Exchange and you can have a Urban Outfitters, but you can have the Good Life Donuts or the Seabirds Cafe or a small little record store or like a little barber shop. And the thing is, you kind of need the chain to bring people over to the small business. Yeah. Like, I think there's a lot of value in opening together. Like when we spoke about off the mall, like, you know, you never just went to Sounds Like. Yeah. You would always walk to CNC and you'd always walk to Electric Chair and you always go inside Deluxe. But when one of them left, they all dominoes fell.
Dude, yeah. And the only one that was left standing for the longest time was the like Big and Tall store.
Yeah, that was like there. And then all of a sudden it was gone and it was just like, boom, Crunch Gym.
Yeah. And now that's gone.
How did that not work?
Dude, as somebody who went to Crunch for like a minute, I could see why. The people didn't care. It was always dirty. Like they just didn't try, dude.
But it was like bitchin' location. Yeah. Completely glass front on display. I think that's my theory. You see that it's like empty in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And people were just like, oh, if nobody's there.
Which that would make me want to go more. Yeah. But you also like, you need to like have people standing around or showing like, there's something like, as much as people want to claim to be antisocial, like, they want to buzz about something.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you have cars in a parking lot, they're like, you know, and then it starts kind of getting a little busier. Like, but you kind of need, I don't know, like you need, like, people are magnets to each other in a way.
I think the biggest thing is that people aren't willing to take risks to like get like attention to like a small thing. Like one thing that I always think about is when Alice Cooper was first becoming like a band, they toured London, and they purposely made a giant truck carrying the album cover like as like the bed on the bed of it.
Yeah.
It broke down in the middle of Piccadilly Circle. And like people were just like, what the fuck? Like this Alice Cooper band's truck just stopped in the middle of the circle. It got attention. It got people to, you know, buy the record. And it's just like, was it legal? Probably not. But at least they were just like, yeah, let's do something creative to get people's attention. You know, something simple. Have a gimmick. Do something creative. It's not just like, yeah, okay, I guess I'll pay $50 on Instagram for people to see, you know, people lifting weights for 10 seconds. Like, nah, do something unique. Do something that grabs people's attention, you know, because like, you know, I'm sure you do it. I know I do it. As soon as I see an ad and the skip ad button gets highlighted, gone.
Yeah.
Because not like, and the only time I don't skip an ad is when it's a trailer for a movie that I want to watch.
Yeah, an ad you want to see.
Yeah. And then even then, it's just like, there are some ads that I'm just like, oh, this is boring. Like, what the fuck? Like, this doesn't make me want to, like, what are you selling? I don't even know what the hell you're selling.
You know what I think? You know what town I could see blowing up for small business, and it is there, but it could be cool and hip in our lifetime that you would at least expect.
What's that?
I think Ukaipa could.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah, 1,000%. Because, like, you worked in Ukaipa, your shop.
But I was
Ukaipa.
too soon. I wasn't, and I think that if I stuck it there long enough, then I could have been the shop that been there. But I just wasn't. It was a good place to start, good place to end up. But the middle, it's just not a lot of opportunity. But I think that, you know, they dump all their money back into their town, and they're really strict on where they let big businesses open.
Yeah.
They're only down in the lower part of the boulevard.
Yeah.
The up there in the circle and all that, that's all small businesses. And the zoning is like non-existent. The city is super like cool to small businesses, and like, and also the square footage is more affordable because it's not, you know, it's Ukaipa. So it's like, if you are young and want to open your own business, like maybe you can't do it in Riverside. It's too hard, the permitting, and you definitely can't do it in LA and this and that. And you start getting pushed further and further and further inland, and San Bernardino's not quite doing it, this and that. Oh, Redlands is cool, but damn, I can't quite get in. And I think that Redlands will eventually swallow up Ukaipa, unfortunately, and I think Ukaipa will become like a hipster haven because all those old people living there, they're all passing that home down to their fucking. I see Ukaipa coming up.
I think more towns need to embrace like niche things.
Yeah.
Because one thing that I've noticed, like I had no idea about this until about 2 years ago. Upland has a large horror community.
Oh, for sure.
If you go to Upland, there's at least 6 stores dedicated to just horror memorabilia and collectibles. Like I've gotten so much shit from 2nd Street in Upland.
I think the reason why Upland works, Ukaipa works, Redlands work is because they have old buildings with small storefronts, and the cities want to protect those buildings.
Yeah.
And, you know, a big Starbucks can't fit in that 400 square foot business. Right. But a Rad Coffee can.
Right.
So you kind of need like an old area that is preserved by the city.
Yeah.
And it's privately owned, and only little creative things can happen there. So it just kind of keeps that area like small.
Yeah, dude. And that's the thing. It's like you got to have stuff that stands out, and now old is new. Because it's like a lot of like the modern square buildings that you see downtown, like a lot of those high-rise buildings, they don't catch your attention. Like I've gotten back into photography, which is something I haven't done since like college. And I sometimes walk around town, I'm just like, dude, these buildings are boring as shit. But like when I was in Houston, when I was in Ohio, when I was in like other parts of the country, I'm like, yo, these buildings are old. They have history. They have like a story.
Everything's so new here.
Yeah, exactly. And like if you have, and that's the thing, like they've torn down historical buildings in Riverside to make room for high-rise apartments.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, if you want people to come to you, you got to be unique. If you just look like a square in LA, people are just going to think it's LA. It's not a unique thing.
But I think they're meeting it halfway with like the revitalization of the Fox Theater.
Oh yeah.
With the food lab.
Sure.
And then one thing the Old Riverside Foundation wasn't too happy about, but by keeping the lower half of the building old, looking across the street from it, and then putting the whack ass container shit on top, it kind of marries the old with the new, pays homage to the old and the new. And it's like, yeah, it's not legit, but I think that was kind of a smart decision. I think that's kind of like a clever move.
Yeah.
You got to kind of have, because I think the future, like when you look at like when you watch Black Mirror,
Yeah.
they make the future seem very relatable, because I'm in a house from 1950
Sure.
and we're streaming like 4K.
Right. Yeah.
This is what the future looks like. It's not a glass cube like cement building, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the future does look like maybe a driverless electric car in an old town.
Right.
I think that is what the future is like. So I think that if your town is just old, then and it's preserved, and I like that. I don't think that really gets there's nothing new to be attracted to.
Yeah.
So I think you got to meet it halfway to have a contrast that makes you go, what's that?
Well, yeah, dude. Like we are currently in Blade Runner year. Like Blade Runner takes place in 2024, the original Blade Runner. You know, and so it's like it is interesting to kind of see what people thought, because I genuinely believe we are in the future. There's nowhere to go from here.
No, it's moving fast, dude. Because I think all right. So I was having a conversation at work.
Okay.
We're talking about AI, and we're saying, well, our job will never be replaced by tattoo robots. Like we seen they tried to do it a couple years ago, it didn't fucking work. This and that, blah blah blah. That night, there's a startup that made a tattoo robot work.
Fuck.
That makes good tattoos.
Yeah.
And I think it's like palm-sized things only.
Yeah.
Probably has to be flat on your forearm. They probably can't do your finger or your elbow, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But it would, like with technical surgical precision, little pointillism dots, like ditto paper, and print like a beautiful Mona Lisa on your fucking arm. And I think there's limitations, right? Like your arm's a little wrinkly, a stretch mark. Like, and then my biggest thing is like, fuck, what if you need a touch up? Like, can the robot like scan your arm and stretch or flex, this and that? I think it's a gimmick. And I'm like, and I still think, oh, it wouldn't work. But who's to say it won't?
But see, that's the thing. It's like, so for example, one of my favorite producers and one producer that inspired me very much, you tattooed, you know, tattooed me a tattoo related to him, is Jay Dilla. What made him so unique was the fact that he didn't just like plug in the drums and then just like plug in a sample. He would literally make his own kick drum pattern. If you listen to the song Runnin' by the Far Side, the kick drum doesn't have a pattern. It's literally just him just like boom, but that like he's literally just doing the kick drum himself. He does the drums himself because it gives it's like Questlove said that it sounded like a drunk 3-year-old was playing the drums. And he said that made him feel liberating. And I feel like with AI, even though yes, it can be a potential threat to a lot of creative outlets, it's never truly going to replace like the human creativity and human ingenuity.
It's just another genre.
It is. It really is. Because that's the thing. It's just like AI has been around for quite some time. It's just now it's starting to get a lot of attention.
Like T-Pain's auto-tune didn't put no singers out of business.
Right. Exactly. You know, so it's just like
its own thing.
Yeah, and so I don't think AI is gonna rule the world like a lot of sci-fi. Like I don't think we're gonna live in the world of Isaac Asimov. Like I don't think that's gonna happen.
If anything, I hope the robot works out, because the tattoos that it does and the clients that want those tattoos, that isn't obtainable by me. Like it's just a different thing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's just that like how many people work at your parlor?
4 people.
How many of them can you say that their style looks the same?
Yeah, I mean, no.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like even if it is like even if all 4 of y'all do traditional flash art, there is a unique spin to it.
We all have our thing.
Exactly. Sure. You know, so it's just like all AI is going to do is just kind of look at something and go, oh, this looks like this, that looks like that. Then we're going to put it together and make this thing. And it's like,
but sometimes that is good enough. For like a news story, that's good enough.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%.
That's spooky.
Yeah, it can be.
I saw a new George Carlin special on YouTube that is all AI.
That was weird.
I caught the first 10 minutes of it. It definitely is. It definitely isn't. What did they say at the very beginning? This is a
like a simulation or
an impression of it. It's not like you know. And it definitely felt kind of like cheap, hokey. It didn't feel like him.
Yeah, dude. And that's the thing. It's just that like only George Carlin knew how to write a George Carlin joke.
Right.
You know, so it's like this is just going off of, it's like no different than it's like, oh, AI is going to do a Sam Kinison joke and it's just the AI yelling into a microphone for 5
Just
minutes.
a woke Kinnison.
Yeah, what?
How? Just yelling. Just yelling. So here's my thing. All right. So to play devil's advocate, I agree and I disagree. I don't know. I'm here for it either way. Right?
Okay.
I think, but this is still the beginning of it. This is Pong.
Yeah.
Do you think that? All right. I remember we thinking that our PlayStation 1s were like good graphics.
Oh, dude, are you kidding me? I remember playing Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo thinking, fucking graphics will never get better than this shit.
I remember I had a game. Did you ever have? I don't know. Game Gear wasn't successful.
I knew of Game Gear, but I never had one.
So it was like Sega's PSP.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about, yeah.
And it was big, and it took, it was like this big, and it had a legit screen, like a legit like TV screen.
Yeah.
But it took, all right, that might be exaggerating. From what I remember, it took 8 batteries, like AA batteries.
I think so, yeah, because that motherfucker was a brick.
But even if it didn't, even if it was 6 batteries, that's still more than come in a pack or a whole pack. So you could only play it if you had the AC adapter to plug in the wall.
Right.
Because you play it for an hour, you run out of fucking batteries. It's insane.
Yeah.
But the thing was, at that time, there was gray Game Boys with green screens, right?
Right.
And the Sega fucking... dude, it was a TV screen. It was
Right,
legit
exactly.
full color Sonic. It was
Yeah.
awesome. Way ahead of its time.
Sure.
I remember being like, holy shit. I remember when like Dreamcast came out. I was like, what is this futuristic thing? Oh my God. And then it's like, I don't know, it just gets better and better and better.
But at the same time, when the Sega... Fuck, what was it called?
I'm saying it wrong because I want to say Gamecast, but that's a Malvis must want. I said I can't afford it.
I got a Gamecast. But like at the same time that came out,
Oh, it was Game Gear.
Game Gear, there you go.
Yeah.
The same time the Game Gear came out, fucking Nintendo came out with the Sega Virtual Boy. You ever play that shit?
No, I've seen it though.
You want a migraine in 5 minutes? Play that
Really?
shit. Dude, it was literally like, it was this virtual reality thing where it was literally goggles that you would put your face into it. And it was just black with red lines. And you would play like little, like literally like this. Like it would be on a stand. And you would put your eyes into it and just kind of play it like this.
Dude, it's not that different. Like a lot of this shit, like my Oculus thing, it's just 2 screens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The tech that's really becoming of these newer units is that they have eye tracking to where when people get dizzy or they feel like, whoa,
like motion sickness.
Yeah, it's the motion sickness is a different thing, but when the thing is, if your retinas aren't like the perfect distance from it or they're a little bit off, then your eyes are getting strained as fuck using it. But a lot of these newer VR things, like it'll just like line up to exactly where your fucking eyes are.
Yeah.
But it is 2 fucking screens in front of your eyes, and some of the best ones are 2 OLED screens, but still 2 fucking screens in your face. You know what I mean? It's not as techie as it sounds. I don't think it is as nearly as wild as we think it is yet, but I will say this, it's not, when it comes to VR, the thing that people get wrong is that didn't seem real. It's almost like a realism tattoo or something like that. It's like, that doesn't look real. It's like, well, it's a real fucking tattoo.
Right.
But is it immersive? And the VR, some of the games that are like the most unrealistic are the most immersive.
Yeah.
And if you put on the headset, you play the game, you take it off, how did I end up facing the wall? That's good enough.
Right. I think it also depends on what you're trying to use it for. Because I remember watching this video of like this old Italian woman who like came to America back in the 50s, and like her village was like bombed during World War I or World War II.
Yeah.
And like they put a VR set on her and they recreated what the village looked like in full color. And she was able to see this village that she grew up in when she was a little girl, you know?
That's kind of sad.
Absolutely. It's fucking heartbreaking. But at the same time, it's like, it's beautiful that like you're giving that opportunity. And so it's just like, I feel like just like all other technology, it's not necessarily that it exists. It's what are you using it for? You know, because it's like someone like Elon Musk, this motherfucker could literally end world hunger and still be one of the richest human beings on the planet. But he's not.
Right.
And so instead of using his technology for good, he's just using it for an ego trip because he's a fucking sociopath.
Would he even be allowed to end world hunger?
Well, that's the thing. He's not trying.
I don't think it. I think that. All right. My take on it is, I think there's like, when you think about, we think of things from a very idealistic perspective on what's best. But when it comes to business, it's not about what's best, but what's the most profitable.
But what part is that is business?
Well, I'm just not saying him in general, but I'm just saying, like, when you look at like what's profitable and what's not, that's why we have these shitty prisons, and that's why, you know, like, all right, if you go to Europe and they have healthcare, well, then they have strict guidelines how much sugar can be in your soda because they're fucking fronting the bill for you, right?
Right.
But our system, it's like you gotta get your own healthcare, so put as much sugar in that food as possible, right?
But that's the thing, though, is just that, like, at the end of the day,
I do think solutions can be profitable.
Yeah.
Right. And I think I don't know. I hope that we come to a future where we find a way to make quality of life profitable. We find a way to make these things into good business practices somehow.
But yeah, like the idea of like with sugar, it's like at the end of the day, like what's gonna help your people live longer? Like, yeah, sure, like it sucks that this thing doesn't have as much sugar, but it's like I'd much rather have like a handmade quality meal than like a Snickers bar.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just like I'd much rather have a handmade like quality vegan donut that is gonna go bad tomorrow than something that's gonna stay in my fridge for 6 months.
But here's the thing: people vote with their dollar.
Oh, 1,000%.
And if people really say they feel that way, then the world would look very differently.
But that's the thing, though. It's just like people have been conditioned to believe that way. You know, because like I genuinely believe that a lot of people. I think
our thoughts are very rare on this.
Oh yeah, because that's the thing. A lot of people have been conditioned to vote against their own goodwill because they have been told like, oh yeah, like, do you really want these immigrants and trans people to live next door to you? No, you don't. So you got to vote for us, who are owned by Raytheon.
Everyone's afraid of the other.
Yeah, and that's because that's the thing. Yeah. The oldest and strongest human emotion is fear, and the oldest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. Yeah. And because you don't know these people, and because you're not familiar with them, like it's so fascinating that people are scared of something that they aren't aware of, that they don't know, and because of that, they don't understand it, so they fear it, so they hate it. You know, and so because of that, there's just so much hatred and bigotry in the world to the point where it's like, dude, it's like a snake eating its tail. It's just like we're just constantly just hurting ourselves in order to benefit who? The dude who's running for Congress for the 18th time?
Right.
You know, so it's just like at some point we have to like be able to. I think the biggest thing is like one of the things that I truly believe is that I've always heard the term like people are inherently good or inherently bad. I don't think it's either. I think we're all inherently insecure. And so because of that, people are scared to come off like, oh, I'm a liberal, I'm a conservative, I'm a blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm in support of this, I'm anti that. People are so scared to be seen as other because we're social creatures. You know, like we love to socialize. So the idea of saying something that can make us be ostracized scares us. So we're just like, oh yeah, like I hate Planned Parenthood too. Yeah, totally. It's just like, why?
Everyone just wants to fit in.
Exactly. And so because of that, it's like, dude, you're hurting yourself for no other reason than please like me, you know? So it's like, we just keep hurting ourselves because we're so inherently insecure, you know?
Yeah, but people only know what they're exposed to too.
Oh yeah.
Like if this news channel, you think this way and you're like, oh, can you believe? And they watch the news channel, oh, can you believe? And like both news channels are bullshit.
Yeah, dude, because I remember one time, like an old job that I was working at, like the old like driving school job that I worked at in Norco, I was talking to one of the students and he was like, did you hear that Biden is going to get rid of bacon? I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, like he's going to outlaw bacon. I'm like, time out. Did you read this or someone tell you this? He's like, oh, well, my teacher told me this. I'm like, your teacher, like did he provide proof? Did he say, hey, look at this, what do you guys think? Or he just said Biden's gonna get rid of bacon? He just kind of said it,
right?
I'm like, dude, like I've always told kids, because I've always worked with kids, like, dude, question authority, you know, because it's important to, like, if you see me as a figure of authority, question me, man. Are you kidding me? Because like you got to be able to like ask questions and be curious, because it's like Carl Sagan said, like when you're a really young kid, you ask, like, why is the grass green? Like, why do dogs have 4 legs? Like, you're curious and you constantly want to know. Something happens in between elementary school and high school that kids just lose their curiosity and they just stop giving a fuck about learning.
Their parents beat him at him.
Yeah.
Stop asking me fucking questions.
Exactly. You know, that was one thing that I'm sure, you know, I did. I'm sure you did, where it was just like, dude, why are you asking me so many goddamn questions?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like, I don't know. Fucking Jello Biafra told me to question you, you know? So it's,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
so it's like, you know, and like it stuck with us because it was like, that was shit that really made us grow and learn as people.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, man.
Fucking deep.
Fuck, hey, man. That's what I do.
What? We should do this more often because we could easily do a 5-hour podcast.
Oh, 1000%. The Wayne Fredrickson experience.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dude.
What projects you have hitting for 2024?
Let's see. So right now there aren't like specific projects because like they're in the works, so there's no like titles.
Right.
But like I'm working with a lot of people out of Texas. Chop the Father, shout out. AB Raps, shout out. Navy Jones Locker, shout out. Got a couple projects with Jag Ariola and Native Threat and Cosmic Force. That's their group together. Fucking shout out. Yeah, so Chop the Father, AB Raps, Navy Jones Locker, Jag Ariola, Native Threat, Cosmic Force. Got a couple other Texas artists that I'm working with. There's a couple other artists that like I have made connections with, but we're still in talks of like getting shit together.
Right.
There's another group out of San Diego that I made beats for them, but I haven't heard back from them yet. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, dude, I got a lot. Like I was telling you before we started talking or before we started recording, was just like there's just I work with so many other artists that have little time to do my own shit. So like beat tapes are definitely something that I don't see happening anytime soon because I
Yeah.
keep making beats for other artists. So yeah, so I got quite a bit coming up with working with artists. So yeah, like I said, there's no like definitive title or anything like that, but I'm for sure gonna be staying busy for 2024.
You're busy, man.
As are you. What about you, man? What you got going on at the shop?
Oh, man. I don't know. I feel afraid to speak things into existence, even though I speak. All I do is talk.
Yeah. Hey, you got to do it with your job, dude.
Yeah. Well, for sure, what's going on is Unite and Win Tattoo. Obviously,
Yeah.
I have a needle company, Unite Win Tattoo
Fuck
Supply.
yeah, you do.
I got the same bullshit. I'm peddling the same books over there. Tiny Bright and Tiny Black Tattoo Book and shirts every once in a while. This podcast a lot more often now. I got the setup jumping off right now.
Yeah. Dude, I'm proud of you, man. You fucking came up, dude.
I'm
No,
not
I'm
doing
saying,
shit.
bro, I've known you since 6th grade, man.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, first of all, I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit and just, you know, I was the guy who got...
that? JT got me into punk.
Straight up, question me. I dare you.
Yeah, no. I mean, I tell that to everyone, though. You always get those props. I should have fucking talked. This is like introduction shit that is now outroduction shit.
Yeah.
But JT is my oldest friend. And, you know, because I moved a lot as a kid. I moved every like 2 years growing up. And then once I was in 6th grade, I lived in Riverside all over, and I moved to Corona, and then I moved back. And then I ended up in Riverside. I went to Loma Vista. We became friends in like 6th grade.
Yep.
And then we had this like really cool, like oddball group of friends.
Yeah.
They're all kind of somehow like weird and different and the same. And we were really into metal.
Yeah.
And then I remember, I don't have it anymore, but I remember in my yearbook, I always said this, that like my 8th grade yearbook, JT wrote like, love you, man. Like get more into punk next year. Or something like that.
Yeah, I remember writing that.
Yeah. And then he like burnt me a CD, and it had like Casualties and like TSOL and Exploited. And I remember it had Misfits, but it had the Michael Graves song. Dig Up Her Bones.
That's right.
And then it had like, and I was like, okay, I like this, but I don't like that, but I like this, but like that. And then I kind of got a little bit more into it. And then I remember I was really into Hatebreed, but I didn't know they were a hardcore band. I just thought they were a metal band.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then my first like trip to the showcase was Victor used to sing for Impact, went to our high school.
Yeah.
And he invited me to showcase. I went to like Suicide, Silence, and Suffocate. Shit was fucking whack.
Right.
I was like, this isn't what? Like this isn't like hardcore metal. This is some other thing. And then it was like I went and saw DI, and I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. And then I started getting more into punk, and then we were still tight. And then through those 4 years, we became obsessed and went through every subgenre that was punk. It might be
Yep.
psychobilly for 6 months. It might be 77 and Buzzcocks for 6 months. It might be like post-hardcore. Like, but we kind of went in order, like, and like as historians looked back to the deepest cut and then came forward. And then by the time that we were seniors, we were into like hardcore.
Yeah.
Because it was like, okay, you know, and that's like that's the conclusion, right? That was that time period. And then as we've grown up, I don't say we've grown apart, but we just grow and doing our own thing. But every time that I run into you, it's like no time has ever passed.
Yeah, dude, it happens every time. Like whenever we run each other to like a coffee shop or like, even if it's like, hey, yo, like you want to meet up? Because there was a couple of times where we're just like, hey, you want to go to Viva Vegan or something?
Yeah.
And we just like, it was like we've been talking every day, you know?
I know. That's the thing that makes me sad. It makes me sad when I say like, oh, we're for sure going to meet up. And you're like, yeah. And I know I mean it. I know you mean it. And then just time dissipates, goes away.
Oh yeah, 1000%. And that's the thing. It's just that like we want to hang out and we want to do shit, but it's like, fuck, I got to do this thing. I got to do that thing. And so it's like to be able to have like even just like fleeting moments of like running into you at the coffee shop or something. Like that's awesome. I love it because you are my oldest friend. Like you, like out of everyone from high school, you are literally the only person that I still talk to.
Yeah.
Like there's not a single person from high school that I still talk to. Or at least like if I run into them, I might be like, hey, how you doing? But like I can say, hey, that's one of my closest good friends.
Yeah.
You're definitely the only one.
It's scary. It's scary how fast that went by.
Oh, dude, it's wild. Cause like I remember hearing like when I was a substitute teacher, I was working at this school and I don't know if you remember her. Was it Yazette?
That's with Chris now, right?
Probably. Yeah. So she was working there too.
Okay.
And she was just like, hey, we're doing like our 10-year reunion.
Okay, yeah. I think we talked about this. I feel like I'd be more interested in like a 25 or a 30. But even in that sense, like all the homies are dead, and anyone that's worth keeping up with, you have Instagram, you'll catch up, you'll find each other somehow.
Yeah, dude. It's just like that's one thing that like really was both a beautiful and tragic thing about being a part of the local punk scene was that everybody was this beautiful flame of individuality, but that's the thing about flames, sometimes they burn out way too bright and way too quick.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people we knew that gone way too soon, or like they're doing shit with their life that they shouldn't be doing or whatever. Like it's heartbreaking to kind of see that, but it's like, damn, dude, like you were so creative, you were so smart, and it's like, and you're just not with us anymore, you know?
That's just growing up, though.
Oh yeah, 1000%.
You know, and I think, and the thing that sucks about that, like, but death like really makes you like grateful for life.
Oh yeah.
Like when death happens, you immediately tell your friends you love them, and you like live your life differently afterwards.
Oh yeah, 1000%. I
It
think
sucks that people have to die to remember that.
Yeah, and I think that's like one thing that like has been a big like reminder whenever like I watch, because I remember reading something about like how like horror movies help us cope with like a lot of shit in reality. Where it's like I've seen some movies where people were like, oh, like people that went to the screening and they fainted, and like I watched it, I'm just like, that was pretty good, you know? And it's like, oh right, like I've conditioned myself to be prepared for shit like this.
Yeah, you're desensitized.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why like when someone dies, it's not necessarily that it doesn't hit me. It's like, yeah, dude, it's gonna happen, you know? And it's like, it's still heartbreaking and it's still tragic and it's still something you don't want to happen, but not only it's gonna happen, but you really should appreciate and love life before you are reminded of how you know how finite it is, you know?
Yeah, you have to tell your friends you love them.
Oh yeah, 1000%. Like if there's people in your life that you genuinely give a fuck about, make sure you let them know that you give a fuck about them, you know?
Super important.
Yeah, 1000%.
Especially if people are like depressed, like, you know, like when I'm sad or depressed, I don't want to be happy.
Oh yeah.
I don't want someone reaching out. So like that's when you call your friend the most.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when they don't want, like that's what makes you a friend.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, just like checking in or something. It's just like,
for
hey,
sure.
I haven't heard from you, or something like, just like, hey, you haven't posted on Instagram in a minute. You doing all right, buddy?
Right.
Something, you know? And it's just like, just little things like that mean the world, because it's like, you know, you and I have kept in touch and we're always talking. Like you know, like I've had friends that, you know, like they still reach out to me, like even though I wouldn't tell them like what I've been going through. Like if I'm going through like a really fucking tough time, like dude, like the times that you and I met up, like especially after like going through like my breakup and all that shit, like us meeting up fucking helped me so much. I didn't want to. There were times where I would just be like, I don't see what the point of me going. It's like, nah, dude, like meet up with your boy.
Yeah.
You know? And so like it really helped me kind of realize like, oh fuck, like, yeah, there's people out there who do give a fuck about me.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Like this life is special.
Exactly. You know?
It's easy when you like just have tunnel vision.
Yeah, dude. It's just like
know?
I think about like my brother and I talk every week. Like even though he lives on the other side of the country, like every week we make sure that we make, even if it's just a quick like 10 minutes, like, hey, how you doing? Like, nah, dude, like we got to make sure that like we're keeping up and letting each other know.
Sometimes what it takes though, because like the unfortunate thing is that if you lived in the same city, maybe you wouldn't need to hit each other up every week.
Yeah.
Like sometimes distance can make you like closer.
Oh yeah, 1000%.
You know, because then it puts a perspective of like, whoa, you're far away.
Yeah, and it's just like you're reminded of just like, oh shit, like I can't see you. Like I can see you like on a video chat, but like I can't hug you.
Right.
You know, and like that's totally different to be able to like physically hug somebody. Like that shit means the world, even if it's just a simple, hey, how you doing? Like a hug can change someone's life.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. I think so.
Yeah, man. Well, I fucking love you, man.
I love you. I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
Are we now starting an OnlyFans?
Give me a hug. Ooh. This is fun.
Oh, that was great, dude. Oh, thank you so much for having me, dude. That was amazing.
Yeah.
God,
We'll do it again for real.